Devin the Dream Haney versus Jose Ramirez this Friday, May 2nd at Times Square. Let's get ready for that. But first, if you're new here, thank you for choosing this video. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for the continuous support. But please like and share this video. And if you're a new viewer, please consider subscribing. And also, welcome Boxing YouTube. Welcome Spanish Harlem. Welcome San Isidro, Puerto Rico. Gotta shout out my old hometown stomping grounds. So let's talk about the situation. So it's Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez has a good left hook. He's a veteran. He has been stopped, but he has world-class experience, and he's a big dude. And he's been at 144 a while, and now he's fighting at 144, which is interesting because the fight for Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, if it happens again, is at 147. Ryan is already fighting at 147, whereas Devin Haney is taking a midweight approach. He's going to go to 144, then he's going to go to 147 should he be victorious in this fight. And I think he's doing it like if he's treating it as a weight class where he was like, okay, I was at 140. I don't want to jump up to 147. And I've been out for a year. I got hurt the last time. So I just want to go like 144, test that out, see how that goes. And then 147, with Ryan Garcia. Now, mind you, those terms are already spoken about. So that fight is already pretty much negotiated and done. It just needs to win. Both of them need to win. That's all they need to do. So we're going to take a look at the grand rival face-off real quick and see if we can extrapolate any information out of here about who's going to win, who's more locked in. So let's go to that real quick. All right. And here we go. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Jose Ramirez has been stopped before. Jose Ramirez has, lost to, other guys who we may perceive to be less than Devin Haney, so this shouldn't be a problem. The thing is, you have intangibles that you can't measure yet. You have the mental capacity of Devin Haney about how he's psychologically feeling about that beatdown he got. Whether it was us or not, it doesn't matter. The fact that it happened.
Jose Ramirez, you're a former champion at 140 pounds. This is going to be your first fight at 144 as you work your way to welterweight. And we saw you pulling up your shirt there. You're feeling good, huh?
Yeah, I'm just ready to fight May 2nd. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go out there and, win, man. I see myself out there May 2nd, still in the show.
And you're coming off a loss to Arnold Barboza Jr., and you're going right back into a tough fight.
That's another thing I didn't realize. It didn't hit me that he actually fought Barboza in the card and lost to him, which is, a feather in Barboza's side. But also, let's see how good Barboza really is, right, versus Tio. And if the loss, because if Barboza turns out to be better than we thought, even in a loss, then that loss to Barboza that Ramirez has suffered may look better, right, for Ramirez having lost. Now, if he gets whitewashed and it was like never even close, then maybe Barboza, Ramirez is never good. And if Haney struggles with Ramirez, then what does that say about where Haney is? You see what I'm saying? Like, all those things kind of like rotate in there when you fight like opponents. They're good gauges.
The underdog, you're fighting one of the biggest stars in boxing in Devin Haney. How excited does that make you?
Oh, extremely excited. First and foremost, I'm thankful for the opportunity, but it's.
And also Ramirez has a top-notch corner. Top-notch corner. The Garcias is no joke.
Time for me to, show the world the best version of myself. So I owe it to myself to, move up in a bigger weight class. Those 4 pounds, I know, it's gonna definitely do wonders for me that night. And
Mexicali accent is crazy.
And I watched you spar in training camp. You looked great, and we know that you come with that Mexican style, that non-stop pressure. What should Devin Haney expect on fight night?
Well, like you said, you saw me spar. You saw.
That's the thing, right? How does Devin Haney react to a situation where he gets tagged with a left hook, or he gets pressure put on him? Is he gonna maybe run so much that the judges don't appreciate it, or he tries to prove a point and gets caught by Ramirez, and he's not mentally ready for it?
I'm spar against 3 guys, 3 undefeated prospects, soon to be world champions, and they went 4 rounds each. Because of the pressure, because of the motivation that I had, man. I'm extremely ready for May 2nd. And it doesn't matter who's in front of me. Listen,
the Garcia Boxing Academy that's the one thing that is, I think, a factor here that we're not really talking about, is that they prepare the guys beyond belief. If you beat a Garcia guy, you're really beating a top notch. You're beating a whole system. Like, you're that good, right? Because they can make an average guy good, and they can make a good guy better, and they can make a better guy great. That's kind of like Freddie Roach used to be able to do. And if you don't believe me, look at Bobby Pacquiao. That's all I gotta say.
You know, I'm gonna do what I have to do to win.
Thank you, Jose. Best of luck.
I mean, Jose looks good. He looks in shape. He looks ready. He's saying all the right things.
And his opponent wins, fighting for welterweight.
I feel bad for Devin because he's a good kid. He has a good. Also, by the way, Teofimo Lopez, I haven't seen Senior at all. So he got the message. That's the same message that needs to be delivered to the Haneys, because he's a better kid than his father lets him be.
Devin "The Dream" Haney, one of the biggest stars in all of boxing, #9 pound for pound in the world, Ring Magazine. It's been a long year since your fight with Ryan Garcia. What are you looking to prove?
Alhamdulillah, I'm happy to be back in the ring. This is a dream come true. You know, Allah is a perfect planner. I like to bring fireworks on May 2nd. I look to show the world a new and improved, better Devin Haney than before.
This is the thing. Devin Haney, I'm looking in his eyes, and he doesn't look concerned, right? He doesn't look. I genuinely believe he has no fear. I think, and that I said at that time that I saw that fight, he had a fan in me. He was a dog. He was gonna die that night, and his father should have stopped that fight. I think he let him take way too much punishment that he needed to take. But seeing him that night and looking at him now, he has that look like I'm not scared, but it's how does his body react instinctively when he gets hit, and what does he do after that, right? That's what we all need to see. And can Jose Ramirez be that guy to do it?
Yeah, and again, that fight with Ryan Garcia in April, we all know what happens. One of the biggest fights of the year. You are still undefeated. What have you been doing along this year?
It's like it's in the contract that they still have to say still undefeated.
This year off.
I had to go back to the drawing board and, focus on the mistakes I was making.
They brought in Shane Mosley, who is an expert at, and I've heard this, in many interviews, through many fighters and trainers, at mimicking other people's styles. And I know that obviously Mosley is older now, but anything that he can probably still do is mimic styles. Maybe he doesn't spar with you anymore. He doesn't do those things anymore. But he can mimic styles with the pads and the mitts and give you those heads ups. And I think that, bringing in Mosley at least show some maturity in, like, hey, we got to test out some waters here and find out what, who can add to our game. And I think that's very important.
And like I said, become a better version of myself. And I look to go in there and show it on Friday.
And look, it's no secret, right? You and Ryan Garcia are going to meet again in a rematch. But first, you need to beat Jose Ramirez. Ryan Garcia, he needs to beat Rolly Romero. How excited are you for that rematch?
It all starts with May 2nd. My main focus right now is Jose Ramirez.
That's the best answer he could have gave. I ain't trying to look at. I know that's done, but he's got to concentrate on Jose Ramirez. I hope that's the truth, because if it isn't, he might be in trouble.
He's a former two-time champion. He's coming. He's bringing everything, and I look to show him. I look to handicap him and show him that I'm just on a whole different level, and then we can get to the Ryan Garcia fight. But it all starts with Friday night.
All right. Are we going to see a statement victory?
Inshallah.
Thank you, Devin.
What's that damn ugly ass belt again? Lord, who is this dude? Can anybody let me know in the comments down below who that dude is down there? That guy right there. Who the hell is that? Ramirez talking shit to him. Let's see how. It's not too much, just enough, more than what Garcia and Romero were doing. Ramirez is letting him know. Okay. Yeah, Haney.
Devin "The Dream" Haney.
So what do I think? What do we think, right, guys? What do we think is going to happen here? What I think is going to happen here? Well, okay. I think there's gonna be a couple of things. I think Haney's gonna come out and do the same thing he always does in the same stance with, you know, with his hand low and his shoulder kind of out, and he's just gonna circle. That's gonna be his. I'm pretty sure that's the way he's gonna come out in the first round. He's gonna jab, 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 and throw his hand. See what Ramirez does. I think Ramirez is gonna realize that Devin Haney doesn't punch as hard as other fighters he's faced in the past, and I think he's gonna lose respect for him early. I think he's gonna make it a rough fight for about 4 to 5 rounds. I think he's gonna give Devin Haney Bambi legs early in the fight. I think, or at least it's gonna be a perception of Bambi legs at the very least. But I think Devin Haney does enough convincingly, not like in a robbery way or anything like that. I think he composes. I think he figures out who he is and where he is in the fight game right then and there. And I think he goes on to win a very non-eventful fight. I think he just outclasses Ramirez for the rest of the fight. Doesn't do anything special. Doesn't do anything hasty. Gets through the 12 rounds. Gets the unanimous decision. And I think he goes on to face Ryan Garcia. I think that's what's going to happen. I've always said that what was going to happen. I was trying to see if I see something here that would tell me otherwise about Devin Haney, but I don't see anything here that tells me anything different, that whether he would win or not. I think he still wins no matter what. I've always maintained that. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Do you think Devin Haney wins this by knockout decision? Do you think that Ramirez has a good shot at either hurting, knocking out, or even just beating Devin Haney? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'm out. Peace.